Hello traders, welcome to a new trading week. The week have already started off well with a good move that we are already cashing so far. So we are going to be doing a top-down analysis on some currency pairs, our weekly forecast, and Euro US dollar, New Zealand US dollar, which we are already in a trade. Australian dollars, we are going to be forecasting how price is going to move, and this can help you to use this particular strategy and make money in other markets too, like indices and all over. So make sure that you watch the video till the end, right? So this is a trade that we have already taken this morning, and this was the initial entry, right? This was the initial entry here, which was above this zone here few minutes ago, and that was a scalping trade, and now we already have it move like this. All right.
Okay, traders, welcome to my channel. I am Full Kingsley. By the grace of God, I bring to you guys strategies, tutorials on the forex market, volatility indices, metals like gold, Nasdaq, VIX75, many other instruments. You want to subscribe to the channel by hitting on the subscribe button and notification bell to not miss out.
So we are going to come back to this later, but let's start with Euro US dollar to do a top-down analysis on it. All right. So now, if you look at Euro US dollar to do a top-down analysis, what you do is you go to a bigger time frame like the daily, and then you see the bias in the daily time frame. Okay, so let me just cancel this out and redo it afresh so that you should be able to understand how I've been able to do my analysis. Now, if you look at this on the daily time frame, you are going to realize that we have a downtrending market, right? So we have a downtrending market. We see series of lower lows and lower highs, but now we have to mark out our key levels in this time frame. All right, so if you look at it critically, we have a key level, which is this. All right, this is a key level here that price have been able to reject from a couple of times. So it has acted both as resistance and support in each case. So you see that this was resistance, and when price broke through, came back, retested, and then created a very big high. So price has come back and bounced off the zone. Now currently, despite the fact that we have a downtrending market, we can have price react to this zone. Okay, so we are marking out these zones in the daily, not that we are entering here. We are just going to use this information to take our trades, right? So since we have a key zone here which price has bounced off, we have a possibility that price can move a little bit up, at least from this zone. And remember, if price has to move like this in a smaller time frame, that will be very big buy setups, right? So after marking out, we just ensure that we mark out our key zones like that on the daily. Okay, so we mark out our key zones like this on the daily. Look at where price has been rejected, right? We look at the body of this week's, because price has the probability of coming back and reacting to these zones in the future, right? So these zones are just to help us know our our targets, our stop losses, and all of that. All right, so now we drop further to the H4 time frame. In this H4 time frame, we are probably going to be judging our trend now on it. Okay, so if you look at the H4 time frame, right, you can see here we already have series of higher highs, right? So high, price move, create high, and a higher low, a high, and price is pulling back. So basically we start judging our trend from this time frame. Okay, so we have a possibility of price moving like that. Okay, so that's already one sign that we have a sign of an uptrend. Okay, so here you see this is a zone here, this is a key zone. Price has rejected here once, twice. Okay, so what you do, your role is just to mark out these zones to ensure that you are on track. All right, so you just mark them out so that you know how to judge your entries and exits, right? So you mark them out like that, right? This is zones that we marked. We also mark these zones in the H4 as well. Okay, so we can change maybe the color now to use a different color, since we are marking out on different time frames, so that the H4 time frame marking should be different. So after we mark out our zones here, we already have a judgment here, right? Remember, our overall judgment is based on this measure resistance, and price is reacting to this zone here. This could have been considered to be maybe where we'll be looking for sales here. If price close, we'll consider this to be liquidity trap, where price creates a low, okay, and comes back and clears. But now we are a little bit skeptical to sell here, right? Because we know that price is reacting to a major zone. So now we drop further to smaller time frame with that information. Now if you go to the H1 time frame, you are going to see that the price, let's just reduce the intensity of this. All right, if you look at it very well, you are going to see that price is creating higher highs in a smaller time frame. That's the H1 compared, right? So you can see this series of highs, lows, okay, highs, okay, highs, okay. So that's the next possibility. All right, now what we do is, if you look at it, we have this to be our our demand zone. This is our demand zone, and at the same time this is acting as what, as a zone that was initially resistant, okay, and that turned support. So if you look at it now, we are going to see this is how it happens, right? So here price got rejected here once, twice, thrice, and when it broke, it came back to retest. Then before it created this high, and it's coming back. Now we have very strong move here. It's still possible that by the end, by the close of this candlestick here, price is going to close above there, right? Because it's actually moving in a very strong wave, but the candlestick, the hourly candlestick, have not yet closed. So here we identify our major demand zones as well. Okay, this is another zone here. We identify this zone here. Okay, this is our major rejection zone below here. So you can see, use your trend line here, connect like that, okay, and then you expect that as price moves back here, price is going to get rejected. There's a probability, remember we deal on probabilities, rejected, for us to be looking for buys, right, and then targeting these highs up there. Okay, so right now that is the forecast for now. We want to be looking for buys, and I've already told you guys why we are looking for buys. We have a key level that's been rejected in the daily. All right, price has been rejected in the daily, and I told you that a small move, this could cause maybe a small move, just a small move, maybe from here to here, will be a complete trend. All right, despite the fact that we have, a downtrending market here, we can catch this mean reversal trade, and they're expecting price to move right up to this zone before maybe it comes and breaks this low here, except price just come, maybe as it rejects, maybe it just breaks down from here. But if price has to reverse a little bit, then we are going to have good trading setup in a smaller time frame. And like I say, I'm still expecting price to close, so you can go further, maybe even to smaller time frame. All right, 30 minutes, 15 minutes. This is a resistance, I mean a support zone. All right, and at the same time we have liquidity below this zone, so we have a possibility that many people who jumped into enter here maybe have been stopped, and maybe price can close above this zone here. And if price close above there, then that could still be a good buy setup, or wait for price to pull back to these major zones here, and they will be looking for buys. Remember, except price decides to go and break through that major daily time frame. All right, remember, trading is all about probabilities. That's why you should always use your stop loss. All right, now let's go to the trading which I entered earlier. Okay, this is a New Zealand US dollar trade that I entered already, and my first target has already been hit. I took my first profit here, and I'm expecting the second. Okay, now let's go to the daily time frame. All right, so we have our daily time frame there. Okay, I've done a lot of analysis in the past, as you can see. You had too many analysis. All right, that's fine, right? So in the daily time frame, you can see as well we have a major rejection. Okay, this is a major rejection here. We have a downtrending market entirely here, right? We have a downtrending market entirely, and from here, from my judgment, price has reacted to that major zone there. Okay, so when price reacted to that major zone here, what we do now is we are going to be dropping for that smaller time frames after marking out our key zones like this, right? We drop further to H4 time frame. Okay, from this our H4 time frame, we already know now that, all right, these are key zones that we have marked out. Okay, and if you see very well, you're going to see now that price have rejected once, twice, thrice, four times. This is the fifth time. All right, so we are basing our sales on this. Now we are, remember, in the smaller time frame, now we are looking for those intraday, right? This is not swing trades, right? We are looking for those intraday patterns. So if you go further to the H1 time frame, you are going to see price has already started creating lows. All right, I'm pulling back. Okay, so what I did is I dropped further to smaller time frame, like the 15 minutes. So I identify we already have a downtrending market. Okay, and we saw what price creating series of lower lows. Okay, so if you look here, you see that after rejecting from these major zones, now we want to look for our entry, our immediate entries, because our analysis on the bigger time frame is just to guide us, but in smaller time frame now we'll be looking for our immediate entries. So you see, we already see series of lower lows and price pulls back, create higher. Right, so that is how my prediction is, because I've seen now, see how I marked out these zones, right? Okay, so we see basically that price actually, after creating a very strong imbalance here, with very strong bearish momentum. Price actually pulled back to this zone here, which is also what a supply zone. So if you look here, this is a supply zone here. Look, you can see with very strong bearish momentum, we had a very good imbalance here, and price has pulled back to the zone. And then we have this long wick here that has, shake off the weaker hands in the market, what you say call liquidity grab. And then here, that is how I was able to enter. That's why if you see earlier, I was able to predict like this, right? And now you see now that we already hit the first target, and there is a high probability that price is going to move right down to the second target here. All right, and if you look very well, you see that it is thanks to multiple time frame analysis, because we already know, even though we had an uptrend market at the left hand side, people who just buy without doing a multiple time frame analysis will not know that there is a major resistance here. You get the point? So they would have kept on buying until they will just see price reverse suddenly. They will not even know why. But the key is what doing a multiple time frame analysis, right? So like I always say, multiple time frame analysis is good for any type of trader. It doesn't matter if you are a trendline trader, supply and demand, whatever you are trading, you need to do a multiple time frame analysis to know the bigger view of the market, right? So basically that's it, guys. This strategy, you can use it in any market to do a top-down analysis, and then trading volatility indices, boom and crash, and all of that. I hope you found the video helpful. If you find it helpful, please make sure you give me a thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if this is your first time, by hitting on the subscribe button and notification bell, so that anytime I post a new video, you'll be the first to get a notification. Thank you so much for watching. You can also join our Telegram channel. The link will be in the description below, so that you'll also be getting updates. See you in the next video.